Hi, everybody. I wanted to talk to you today about teamwork in revenue cycle. But first, happy Monday. Welcome to my revenue cycle for medical practice managers live feed. And if you are just watching today for the first time, I want to say welcome. I am passionate about helping medical practice managers to manage their revenue cycle so that their practices earn more money, have fewer days in ER, better staff satisfaction, and happier patients. So today we are talking about teamwork in revenue cycle. And so you have probably heard the phrase, teamwork makes the dream work, and it is just as true in revenue cycle as it is anywhere else. You may have a practice where you have a very involved team in all aspects of managing your revenue cycle. And if that is the case, congratulations. You probably have a very high performing team. Some of you may be newer in practice management or newer in managing revenue cycle, and you may be trying to take on everything yourself, or you may be managing a very large practice group, maybe even multiple locations where siloing of departments can happen. So what I want to encourage you to do today is to involve your whole team in solving for revenue cycle issues. What happens sometimes is that departments may not be talking to each other or may not be sharing the important information that's needed to solve the problem. So for example, you may have an issue happening in your front office processes that's leading to denials or rejections. Maybe it's not getting authorizations. Maybe it's having trouble getting authorizations, gateways not working, payers not giving authorizations. It could be eligibility verifications. It could be new people not understanding what they need to do, still in that learning phase. It may be middle revenue cycle processes. It could be your physicians not understanding what's required in the documentation, or not understanding a medical policy, or not realizing why back-end coders are sending queries, right, to get the most accurate information into the chart. It could be physicians or providers not understanding your clinical documentation improvement project. It could be your back-end revenue cycle processes. Maybe they're coming across an issue, but it's not getting reported to other departments so that they can take care of it or solve the issue. So having department meetings where you're bringing your team members together to discuss the issues and discuss the problems gives them the opportunity to share that information across departments and bring in your problem solvers where they can brainstorm potential solutions, come up with ideas to solve the problems, and then you can implement them and see how they work. The one thing I would encourage you to do is when you are having these department meetings, don't let them turn into whining sessions where all they do is talk about the problem. That happens many times if you don't stay in control of your meeting. Everybody focuses on the problem and you never get around to talking about the solution, or you're just complaining about the payers and we hate the payer gateway. We hate this particular payer. You know what it's like. I'm pretty sure if you've been in practice management or revenue cycle for very long, you've heard those conversations. But what we don't want to do is let that go on for too long. We want to, in these meetings, have a very clear agenda and purpose that we're identifying the problem and we're discussing what may be the root cause of it. But then we want to spend the majority of our time focusing on the solution. So no more than 10 to 20% discussing what the problem is. And then 80 to 90% of those department meeting times focusing on the solution. And also in these meetings, you probably don't want to try to address too many problems at one time. It's more effective if you can pick one or two issues where you can solve the problem and make a real impact pretty quickly, and then move on to the next problem. And that will help to keep your meetings focused. It will help to keep them productive and a wise use of your team members' time. So that is my encouragement for you today, is to bring that team into your revenue cycle issues so that you can all get around the table and solve it together. And this works even if you are a small team, even if it's just you and your doctor, having those regular meetings with an agenda to discuss any problems or issues, and then focus the majority of your time on the solution. Thank you for joining me today. I would like to invite you to check out RevenueCycleDecoded.com. Check out some of the content that we have available for you. Have a webinar starting on Wednesday evening at 5 o'clock Eastern Time. You can register for the webinar on the site. I'll be talking about how revenue cycle impacts the financial health of a practice. This webinar is specifically intended for medical practice managers. And also, the Front-End Denials Decoded course will be starting up on Thursday. If you're interested in that course, please check it out. It is $47 in April only. So thank you again for listening. If this content has been helpful to you, please like and subscribe and hit the bell so you'll be notified when I go live or post new content. And I hope you found this valuable and you'll continue to listen in. Thank you again. Have a fantastic week.